She writes in the Lighthouse diary at the end of every watch, each ship that passed and the direction and the time and notch, the ones that answered her signal and the ones that didn't wave. She writes them all the same because they all deserve the save. She's been the lighthouse keeper since her husband's accident, and took the job because the light needed her ascent. She learned the language of the ships, the flags and the horn, and taught herself the weather reading before each morning born. She wrote down every ship that passed without stopping or a sign, the cargo and the country and the longitude and line. The Lighthouse diary was a record of a world in motion past, a woman at the fixed point, watching everything contrast. One night a ship in trouble sent the code she'd learned to know, and she signaled back the harbor and the safe passage below. She wrote it in the diary on the simplest of the page, just the date and time and outcome and the ship's approximate age. The diaries are 30 volumes on a shelf inside the light. Each year a different handwriting is age changed left from right, but each one has the same opening line on January 1. Another year of watching, and the watching is not done. She wrote down every ship that passed without stopping or a sign, the cargo and the country and the longitude and line. The Lighthouse diary was a record of a world in motion past, a woman at the fixed point, watching everything contrast. Write down what passes by you with a careful, honest hand. The lighthouse keeper knew the record is how we understand.
He ties his apron in the dark at 12 and lights the oven low, and by the time the city wakes his lows have an hour to go. He says the bread needs 4 full hours of the night to rise, because patience has a flavor and the dark makes better ties. The sourdough starter he has kept alive for 20 years, fed every night like someone who knows what it hears. He talks to it in low tones as he pours and folds the dough, because he says fermentation responds to being known. He said the best bread requires the dark and time and hand, a human presence in the silence that the yeast can understand. The baker who started at midnight knew what darkness gave. The bread that feeds the morning comes from what the night can save. A young baker asked him once, "What makes your bread taste like that?" He said, "Midnight honesty. I'm done with the diplomatic flat. I pour in everything I know and fold it into grain, and the bread becomes a record of the love I put inside the plane." By 5 the loaves are cooling on the rack in amber rose. The smell escapes the chimney and the neighborhood all knows. By 7 when the door opens, there's nothing left to sell, because midnight bread at morning is the thing that people tell. He said the best bread requires the dark and time and hand, a human presence in the silence that the yeast can understand. The baker who started at midnight knew what darkness gave. The bread that feeds the morning comes from what the night can save. Start at midnight if you want the morning to taste right. The baker knew the best things are the ones that need the night. He's on the 3rd floor of a building that forgot its name, with oil and springs and platings and the typewriter's claim. People bring him Royals and Remingtons, and Olivet is worn. He fixes what the modern world considers too forlorn. A novelist came in with her 1949 machine. The carriage wouldn't return, and the ribbon had gone green. He cleaned it over 3 days and returned it good as new. She said, "This is the only thing that lets me say what's true." He fixed the machines that fix the words that fix the soul. The last typewriter repairman had a very human role. He understood that every machine is just a thought made real, and fixing one is healing something others chose to feel. He said the digital has no resistance when you write. The keys go down like air, and you can take it back the night. But a typewriter demands commitment from the first stroke down. You have to mean each letter, or the page knows you're a clown. The shop may close one day, he says without too much distress, because the typewriters outlast the people and the press. And someone always finds one in a grandmother's old room, and brings it to the third floor, and he saves it from the gloom. He fixed the machines that fix the words that fix the soul. The last typewriter repairman had a very human role. He understood that every machine is just a thought made real, and fixing one is healing something others chose to feel. Strike the keys with meaning, let the Platon hear the thought. The typewriter repairman knew intention can't be bought.
They say the old stone bridge has been here since before the town, and every generation brings its weight of up and down. Soldiers leaving lovers, leaving people, leaving places, and the bridge holds all the weight of all those in between spaces. A woman stood upon it in the winter '52, and watched the river carry something brown and cold and new. A man beside her tipped his hat and didn't ask a thing, just stood there with the weight of it until she found her spring. The bridge that heard 1,000 goodbyes held them all with grace. A structure made of stone and time, and an unmovable face. It held them all without a word, because bridges understand that sometimes what a person needs is something firm to stand. The engineer who built it said he built it wide on purpose, because a bridge should have enough room for what lives beneath the surface, for people who need walking room and people who need rail, and people who need somewhere firm when everything is frail. They renovated it in '60 and
put lights along the side, and people came from further just to cross it at the tide. But the bridge remembers all the versions of the years before, when it was just stone and rain, and what the people bore. The bridge that heard 1,000 goodbyes held them all with grace. A structure made of stone and time, and an unmovable face. It held them all without a word, because bridges understand that sometimes what a person needs is something firm to stand. Cross the bridge at evening, when the lights come up the stone, because some structures hold you better than you'd hold alone.
He grinds the glass himself on the Rue des Artisans, with silver backing poured with patience and with plan. He says the modern mirror gives a very certain light, a flatness and a brightness that doesn't ask you why. His mirrors have a warmth that comes from how they're made, a slight imperfection in the silvers laid, that makes the face reflected look a little more its age, like a face seen by someone who has known you through a stage. He said a mirror should make you look like yourself and not the version of yourself that everything conspired to guard. The mirror maker of the Rue des Artisans made glass that showed the truth of people as the honest years would pass. A woman bought one for her daughter who had grown to think her face was wrong in every photograph and brink. She hung the mirror maker's work beside the morning light and said for the first time, I look exactly right. He's old now and his hands move with a careful earned slow, but every mirror leaving the workshop has a glow that people say they notice more in certain evening light, when the mirror shows you something truer than the night. He said a mirror should make you look like yourself and not the version of yourself that everything conspired to guard.
The mirror maker of the rudest artisans made glass that showed the truth of people as the honest years would pass. Find a mirror that makes you look like you've always been. The mirror maker knew reflection is a way to begin.
He mixes paints the color of ambition and old gold, and climbs the ladder with a brush and everything he's told. A new store needs a sign, and he's the man the town employs to give the new beginning its particular noise. He painted Kowalski's meats in burgundy and cream, and Miller's hardware in a blue that matches someone's dream. Each letter has a serif that he carves into the wood, because a sign says who you are, and who you are is good. He gave the town its voice in gold and red and pine, one letter at a time along the 40-year skyline. The painter of store signs on Main Street left his mark in every shopfront name that shines against the dark. He said the hardest letter in the English is the S, because it has to feel both proud and also dispossessed. A letter that goes two directions simultaneously, like any good ambition in a town of history. When he retired, the town held a ceremony in the square and pointed to the 20 years of signage everywhere. He looked around and said, I didn't build the town, you know. I just told the town what name it wanted the world to know. He gave the town its voice in gold and red and pine, one letter at a time along the 40-year skyline. The painter of store signs on Main Street left his mark in every shopfront name that shines against the dark. Paint the letters carefully, give every name its weight. A sign above a door is how the world meets what's great. He drew the ordinary things with a very careful line, not heroes in the capes and not the villains in the shine. Just a man getting off the bus when it isn't his stop quite, because the street looked interesting in the afternoon light. A woman reading something with the corner of a smile that suggests whatever she has read has made the journey worthwhile. He drew it in 4 panels in his very particular way, and people said it's exactly like my Tuesday or my May. A man getting off the bus
In the Rain was panel 3 of a very ordinary strip about being completely free. The cartoonist who drew only ordinary moments knew that beauty lives in the plain view if you're looking at the true. His editor once said he needed more excitement and plot. He drew the editor trying to explain what beauty was not. 4 panels of a man in an office with a suit, trying to define the extraordinary from its root. He ran for 40 years in 37 papers across the states, the daily strip of ordinariness that daily resonates, because everyone who reads it at the breakfast or the desk sees their own Tuesday morning in the very best. A man getting off the bus in the Rain was panel 3 of a very ordinary strip about being completely free. The cartoonist who drew only ordinary moments knew that beauty lives in the plain view if you're looking at the true. Notice one ordinary moment and hold it in your eye. The cartoonist knew the beautiful is what the days supply.
He mixes paints the color of ambition and old gold, and climbs the ladder with a brush and everything he's told. A new store needs a sign, and he's the man the town employs to give the new beginning its particular noise. He painted Kowalski's meats in burgundy and cream, and Miller's hardware in a blue that matches someone's dream. Each letter has a serif that he carves into the wood, because a sign says who you are, and who you are is good. He gave the town its voice in gold and red and pine, one letter at a time along the 40-year skyline. The painter of store signs on Main Street left his mark in every shop front name that shines against the dark. He said the hardest letter in the English is the S, because it has to feel both proud and also dispossessed. A letter that goes 2 directions simultaneously, like any good ambition in a town of history. When he retired, the town held a ceremony in the square and pointed to the 20 years of signage everywhere. He looked around and said, I didn't build the town, you know. I just told the town what name it wanted the world to know. He gave the town its voice in gold and red and pine, one letter at a time along the 40-year skyline. The painter of store signs on Main Street left his mark in every shop front name that shines against the dark. Paint the letters carefully, give every name its weight. A sign above a door is how the world meets what's great.
came to the classroom at 7 before anyone arrived, and wrote a name on every desk for every child that thrived. She'd studied each one carefully in the first September week, and knew what was inside them that the curriculum would miss. A boy who couldn't read the board but drew like no one's business. A girl who was invisible but kept the whole class's fitness. She made the boy the artist of the quarterly display, and the girl the quiet leader of the Tuesday word of day. She spent her life finding what nobody else could see, the gift inside the difficult, the talent in the free. The school teacher who knew every student's private star, left every child in 40 years exactly where they are. She said the hardest ones to reach are never really far. They're just waiting for the teacher who believes in who they are. The student who destroys the class is asking to be found by someone patient enough to hear the music in the sound. She taught for 42 years and retired without a fuss, but the name she called on in the morning still remember us. A generation of people in the city and the world who carry something seen in them that was carefully unfurled. She spent her life finding what nobody else could see, the gift inside the difficult, the talent in the free. The school teacher who knew every student's private star, left every child in 40 years exactly where they are. Find one thing in a person that they haven't found themselves. The school teacher knew the gift is always on the highest shelf.
The bell above the door rings twice on Sunday afternoon. The smell of olive oil and dried herbs that fill the room. The old man at the counter speaks to everyone in two, the language of the homeland and the language of the new. He shows you how the tomatoes feel when they are right, and tells you that the bread is best when made the night before the night. He wraps the cheese in paper with a phrase his mother used, and sends you home with everything you needed while confused. Everything here has a better name. In Italian he says, the provolone, the prosciutto, and the sun-dried red Malays. The Sunday afternoon Italian grocery understands that food is just a love letter delivered by the hands. His daughter runs the register and knows the prices by the heart.
She grew up counting lira and converted from the start. She asks about your family like she's always known your name, because in an Italian grocery everyone is family same. By 5 o'clock the shelves are half the volume they began, and people in the neighborhood have fed their families and planned. The old man sweeps the sawdust and he hums a thing he knows. The Sunday afternoon Italian grocery gently closes. Everything here has a better name. In Italian he says, the provolone, the prosciutto, and the sun-dried red Malays. The Sunday afternoon Italian grocery understands that food is just a love letter delivered by the hands. Close the grocery gently, let the Sunday smell remain. Some places are a language that the whole block can explain.
He takes the 743 from downtown every day, not to conduct but just to ride the old familiar way. He sits beside the window with his cane across his knee and taps the rhythm of the rails in quiet company. He led the city orchestra for 30 years and more, Mahler and Beethoven and the things that shook the floor. But now the only concert is the morning commuter line, and he conducts it internally with movements so fine. He still taps the rhythm on his knee when the train rolls through, counting beats in everything the city shows him new. The retired conductor on the morning train knows this, that music lives in everything and nothing goes amiss. A young girl saw him tapping once and asked him what it was. He said, I'm just conducting what the morning always does. The sparrows on the wire, they are playing C and D, and that policeman's whistle is the clarinet you see. He gets off at the market and he tips his hat and goes to buy whatever small thing that a Tuesday morning shows. Then back onto the 4 o'clock to ride the music home, because a conductor never quite stops needing a score. He still taps the rhythm on his knee when the train rolls through, counting beats in everything the city shows him new. The retired conductor on the morning train knows this, that music lives in everything and nothing goes amiss.
The conductor in you knows the score you need not understand.
He goes down to the river every night past 10 with his rod and his bucket and an old song, and then he sits beside the water with his lantern and his voice and sings to whatever swims below out of personal choice. He said his grandfather taught him that the catfish like a hymn, and the bass respond to ballads if you sing them in the dim. He's never proved it scientifically and doesn't feel the need, because the singing is its own reward regardless of the creed. He believed the fish came closer for the music in the dark, and he sang every night beside the river in the bark. The night fisherman who sang to the river understood that any singing done in earnest always comes to good. A biologist came down once with equipment and a pad to measure if the singing was the best fish theory had. She sat all night recording and went home to write it up, and simply titled it "The River Knows What Fills the Cup." He's past 80 now, but still goes down on nights that will allow a little slower settling in a different kind of vow. He sings the same 5 songs his grandfather handed him complete, and the river keeps on running like the rhythm of his beat. He believed the fish came closer for the music in the dark, and he sang every night beside the river in the bark. The night fisherman who sang to the river understood that any singing done in earnest always comes to good. Go down to the river in the night and let a song begin. The singing is the fishing, and the fishing pulls you in. He comes around the measuring tape the way a doctor comes, with concentration in his eyes and something that he hums. He measures not just length and girth, but something harder still, the posture of ambition and the slope of the strong will. He made a suit for a young man who said he was a clerk, and gave him 3 inches extra in the shoulder for the work. He said, I'm fitting who you'll be in 4 years from today. And sure enough, in 4 years, the young man found his way. He measured you by what you were, becoming not what you were, and stitched the suit accordingly with thread precise and sure. The tailor of the old quarter understood the body's plan, that cloth cuts best when cut for the future of a man. He said the measurements of yesterday make yesterday's suit. You'll wear it to the place you were and miss the alternate route. But if I measure who you're going to be in the fabric seam, you'll wear the suit into the future of your particular dream. He stitched for 60 years, and every suit was one he kept in a ledger with the measurements and what each customer had stepped into afterward in life, as if the suit had made it real. Because sometimes what you're fitted for becomes what you can feel. He measured you by what you were, becoming not what you were, and stitched the suit accordingly with thread precise and sure. The tailor of the old quarter understood the body's plan, that cloth cuts best when cut for the future of a man. Let the tailor take your measure with a patient knowing eye. He sees in you the person that the cloth should satisfy.
They say the fire started in the kitchen after close, when the saxophone player was packing up his clothes. The flames found the piano first, the way that fire does. Then everything that made the Roseland what it was, the records on the shelf above the bar, when one by one, each title a small biography of someone's favorite run. Coltrane and Bill Evans and a lady singing blue. The fire took them all like it was taking something true. The music played one extra night inside the fire, they say. The records cracked and sang themselves before they burned away. The jazz club that burned down in '58 still plays in the memory of everyone who sat inside its haze. A trumpet player on the street outside said he could hear a song he'd never played before, but somehow held most dear. The fire department said it was the wooden beams at night, but the musicians knew a different story in the light. They built a parking lot upon the lot where it once stood, as if the only answer for a room is something good. But on the 1st of every January, someone leaves a flower pressed against the asphalt in the cold and quiet hour. The music played one extra night inside the fire, they say. The records cracked and sang themselves before they burned away. The jazz club that burned down in '58 still plays in the memory of everyone who sat inside its haze. Leave the flower on the asphalt, let the memory burn right. Some jazz clubs live forever in the ash and in the light. October 1950, and the sky was the wrong kind. The Harbormaster wrote it in the log with his full mind. Wind out of the northeast and the barometric low, and 17 boats still in the water with nowhere to go. He called each captain personally on the harbor line, told them what the instruments were saying about the time. 3 came in by afternoon and 2 said they'd be fine, and 12 went quiet on the radio somewhere past the 9. He wrote down everything he couldn't stop in the ledger bound. Every name and every vessel and each desperate sound. The Harbormaster's log in the year of the great storm was the only honest record of the night that lost its form. He sat at the radio through the entire night alone, and heard the ones who checked in and the ones who didn't phone. By morning when the Coast Guard went, he had the numbers right. He gave them every detail of the terrible Friday night. The log still sits behind the glass in the maritime hall, open to the page where October held its fall.
Visitors lean in to read the entries, small and thin, the careful handwriting of a man who stayed within. He wrote down everything he couldn't stop in the ledger bound, every name and every vessel and each desperate sound. The Harbormasters log in the year of the great storm was the only honest record of the night that lost its form. Write down everything you witness with the hand that holds the pen. The Harbormaster knew the record outlasts mortal man.
She came to the classroom at 7 before anyone arrived, and wrote a name on every desk for every child that thrived. She'd studied each one carefully in the first September week, and knew what was inside them that the curriculum would miss. A boy who couldn't read the board but drew like no one's business. A girl who was invisible but kept the whole class's fitness. She made the boy the artist of the quarterly display, and the girl the quiet leader of the Tuesday word of day. She spent her life finding what nobody else could see, the gift inside, the difficult, the talent in the free. The school teacher who knew every student's private star left every child in 40 years exactly where they are. She said the hardest ones to reach are never really far. They're just waiting for the teacher who believes in who they are. The student who destroys the class is asking to be found by someone patient enough to hear the music in the sound. She taught for 42 years and retired without a fuss, but the name she called on in the morning still remember us. A generation of people in the city and the world who carry something seen in them that was carefully unfurled. She spent her life finding what nobody else could see, the gift inside, the difficult, the talent in the free. The school teacher who knew every student's private star left every child in 40 years exactly where they are. Find one thing in a person that they haven't found themselves. The school teacher knew the gift is always on the highest shelf. Highest shelf.
He comes around the measuring tape the way a doctor comes, with concentration in his eyes and something that he hums. He measures not just length and girth, but something harder still, the posture of ambition and the slope of the strong will. He made a suit for a young man who said he was a clerk, and gave him 3 inches extra in the shoulder for the work. He said, I'm fitting who you'll be in 4 years from today. And sure enough, in 4 years, the young man found his way. He measured you by what you were becoming, not what you were, and stitched the suit accordingly with thread precise and sure. The tailor of the old quarter understood the body's plan. That cloth cuts best when cut for the future of a man. He said the measurements of yesterday make yesterday's suit. You'll wear it to the place you were and miss the alternate route. But if I measure who you're going to be in the fabric seam, you'll wear the suit into the future of your particular dream. He stitched for 60 years and every suit was one he kept in a ledger with the measurements and what each customer had stepped into afterward in life, as if the suit had made it real. Because sometimes what you're fitted for becomes what you can feel. He measured you by what you were becoming, not what you were, and stitched the suit accordingly with thread precise and sure. The tailor of the old quarter understood the body's plan. That cloth cuts best when cut for the future of a man. Let the tailor take your measure with a patient knowing eye. He sees in you the person that the cloth should satisfy.
He comes to the market early, but he doesn't set up till late. When the vendors are packing and the shoppers have left the gate, he finds the emptying corner by the dry goods and the grain, and waits for the few remainers to come in from the rain. He doesn't have a product and he doesn't have a price. He only has the stories and the telling in the rice of human situations that he's gathered over years, from the conversations at the market, between the laughter and the tears. He waited for the rush to pass before he began to speak, because the stories he was telling weren't for people in a streak. The storyteller at the end of the market day knew this, that the best has nothing left to miss. He told a story once about a woman in this very square who sold her grandmother's jewelry to buy medicine for her hair. He'd changed the names, of course, but those who knew just nodded slow, because the story's truest when the people in it know. By 7, when the last stall folds, he gives the square a bow and walks home with the night and the stories that allow another Market Tuesday to begin the cycle right. Because the storyteller knows tomorrow needs tonight. He waited for the rush to pass before he began to speak, because the stories he was telling weren't for people in a streak. The storyteller at the end of the market day knew this, that the best audience is the one that has nothing left to miss. Wait for the rush to pass before you say the truest thing. The storyteller knew the quiet is where voices sing.
He walked the boulevard each evening with his pole and flame, and touched each gaslight into life like calling out a name. The street transformed behind him as he moved into the dusk, each lamp a small cathedral in the amber and the musk. He'd been the lamplighter since his father passed the pole, a ritual of evening that he carried in his soul. The children on the boulevard would follow him a while, and each lamp that he lit was marked by someone's evening smile. He was the last to do it and the first to be missed when the city switched to automatic and the pole dismissed. The lantern lighter of the boulevard took something with him then, a kind of human evening that we haven't had again. The mayor gave a speech about progress and the new, and the lamplighter stood there in his uniform of blue. He didn't say a word, but at the ceremony's end, he lit one gaslight by himself and walked around the bend. The boulevard is electric now and bright throughout the night, but something in the ambience has lost the amberite. People walk a little faster underneath the white, as if they miss the interval between the dark and light.
He was the last to do it and the first to be missed. When the city switched to automatic and the pole dismissed, the lantern lighter of the boulevard took something with him then, a kind of human evening that we haven't had again. Light one lamp by hand tonight and let the evening know something's done with human care, make better things glow.
October 1950, and the sky was the wrong kind. The Harbormaster wrote it in the log with his full mind. Wind out of the northeast and the barometric low, and 17 boats still in the water with nowhere to go. He called each captain personally on the harbor line, told them what the instruments were saying about the time. 3 came in by afternoon, and 2 said they'd be fine, and 12 went quiet on the radio somewhere past the 9. He wrote down everything he couldn't stop in the ledger bound, every name and every vessel and each desperate sound. The Harbormaster's log in the year of the great storm was the only honest record of the night that lost its form. He sat at the radio through the entire night alone, and heard the ones who checked in and the ones who didn't phone. By morning when the Coast Guard went, he had the numbers right. He gave them every detail of the terrible Friday night. The log still sits behind the glass in the maritime hall, open to the page where October held its fall. Visitors lean in to read the entries small and thin, the careful handwriting of a man who stayed within. He wrote down everything he couldn't stop in the ledger bound, every name and every vessel and each desperate sound. The Harbormaster's log in the year of the great storm was the only honest record of the night that lost its form. Write down everything you witness with the hand that holds the pen. The Harbormaster knew the record outlasts mortal man.
She comes to the end of the pier when the summer crowds are done, when the families have folded up their days beneath the sun. She puts a small transistor radio against the rail and dances to the music in the salt and in the pail. She learned a waltz from someone who no longer waltzes now. She dances for the memory and doesn't ask the how. The ocean doesn't judge her, and the gulls don't keep the score. She's dancing at the end of something she's been dancing for. The ocean was her only audience, she'd say, and oceans understand the things that you can't find the way. She danced alone at the end of the pier in the evening gold, dancing for the version of herself she hadn't been told. A fisherman once watched her, and he didn't say a thing. He packed his tackle quietly and listened to her sing, because some moments in this world belong to just one soul, and witnessing them silently is how you make them whole. The pier is older now, and so is she, but she still comes on evenings when the summer crowd gives way to quieter drums. She carries her transistor and she faces out to sea and dances every step of everything she's chosen to be. The ocean was her only audience, she'd say, and oceans understand the things that you can't find the way. She danced alone at the end of the pier in the evening gold, dancing for the version of herself she hadn't been told. Let the pier hold one more waltz before the season ends. The ocean knows the dancer, and it never condescends. She keeps a greenhouse on the northern edge of the estate, where she works in the early morning before it gets too late. Each plant she's cultivated has a name beside the pot, not the Latin name, but a person's name for all she's not. The tall one by the window is Margaret, who taught her how to read. The vine that spreads across the east wall is from an older seed. She named it for her sister, who went everything too young. And every morning when she waters it, she hums what was sung. A garden full of everyone she missed is what she grew. A greenhouse where the names of the beloved still come through. The botanist who named plants after people she had lost was building back the gone ones at whatever the green cost. She said that naming is a kind of keeping in the world, that something persists when a beloved name unfurls in the shape of something living in the light and in the water. A mother in the marigolds and a father in the border. The greenhouse has a visitor's day she holds in early May, when the neighborhood can come and see the garden on display. She tells each story carefully beside each name in bloom, and the greenhouse in the morning has no room for gloom. A garden full of everyone she missed is what she grew. A greenhouse where the names of the beloved still come through. The botanist who named plants after people she had lost was building back the gone ones at whatever the green cost. Plant something living for the ones you cannot hold today. The garden is the grammar of what love has left to say.
He came in through the side door of the chapel after Mass, when the congregation left their handprints on the glass. He'd set up in the transept and adjust the microphone, and played of 40 empty pews completely on his own. He said the people in the seats distract the music's ear, that music needs a room with no agenda to appear. The empty church is honest, it will tell you if you're true, because no one's going to applaud a note that doesn't come through. He said the acoustics required an honest audience to play, and the only honest audience is a room that has nothing to say.
The musician who played only in empty churches learned this thing, that the most important listener you have is the room's offering. A priest once heard him through the vestry wall and stood for 40 minutes listening the way a good man would. He never introduced himself but left a note that read, "Your music filled the empty church with something holy said." He passed away in '64 inside one late at night. They found him at the organ with the last note in the light. The priest who wrote the note said at the service in the nave that the church was finally full of what the musician gave. He said the acoustics required an honest audience to play, and the only honest audience is a room that has nothing to say. The musician who played only in empty churches learned this thing, that the most important listener you have is the room's offering. Play the note in silence, let the empty room decide. The most important audience is the one you hold inside.
She keeps a greenhouse on the northern edge of the estate, where she works in the early morning before it gets too late. Each plant she's cultivated has a name beside the pot, not the Latin name, but a person's name for all she's not. The tall one by the window is Margaret, who taught her how to read. The vine that spreads across the east wall is from an older seed. She named it for her sister, who went everything too young. And every morning when she waters it, she hums what was sung. A garden full of everyone she missed is what she grew. A greenhouse where the names of the beloved still come through. The botanist who named plants after people she had lost was building back the gone ones at whatever the green cost. She said that naming is a kind of keeping in the world, that something persists when a beloved name unfurls in the shape of something living in the light and in the water. A mother in the marigolds and a father The greenhouse has a visitor's day she holds in early May, when the neighborhood can come and see the garden on display. She tells each story carefully beside each name in bloom, and the greenhouse in the morning has no room for gloom. A garden full of everyone she missed is what she grew. A greenhouse where the names of the beloved still come through. The botanist who named plants after people she had lost was building back the gone ones at whatever the green cost. Plant something living for the ones you cannot hold today. A garden is the grammar of what love has left to say. Her father fixed the radios on the kitchen table each night. Tubes and coils and capacitors arranged beneath the light. She'd sit and watch him probe the insides of the BBC, and learn to love the hiss that lived between the notes so free. She said the static was her favorite part of any song, the place between the signal where you couldn't stay too long. A kind of music that existed only in the seam between the thing you're looking for and everything you dream. She grew up inside the static between stations, she said, in the place where all the music went when it wasn't being read. The radio repairman's daughter understood the hiss that everything you're waiting for lies somewhere close to this. She became a radio host herself in '59. She'd leave a second of the static in the opening line. The engineers would flag it, but she'd say no, leave it there, because the people who are listening deserve to know it's real air. She played jazz on her program every Friday after 9, and dedicated every song to someone in the line. Between the wanting and the having and the hoping and the wait, because the static is the music of the ones arriving late. She grew up inside the static between stations, she said, in the place where all the music went when it wasn't being read. The radio repairman's daughter understood the hiss that everything you're waiting for lies somewhere close to this. Turn the dial past the stations, let the static in. Sometimes the space between the songs is where you must begin.
Goes down to the river every night past 10 with his rod and his bucket and an old song, and then he sits beside the water with his lantern and his voice, sings to whatever swims below out of personal choice. He said his grandfather taught him that the catfish like a hymn, and the bass respond to ballads if you sing them in the dim. He's never proved it scientifically, doesn't feel the need, because the singing is its own reward, regardless of the creed. He believed the fish came closer for the music in the dark, and he sang every night beside the river bark. The night fisherman who sang to the river understood that any singing done in earnest always comes to good. A biologist came down once with equipment and a pad, measure if the singing was the best fish theory had. She sat all night recording and went home to write it up, and simply titled it "The River Knows What Fills the Cup." He's past 80 now, but still goes down on nights that will allow a little slower settling in a different kind of vow. He sings the same 5 songs his grandfather handed him complete, and the river keeps on running like the rhythm of his beat. He believed the fish came closer for the music in the dark, and he sang every night beside the river and the bark. The night fisherman who sang to the river understood that any singing done in earnest always comes to good. Go down to the river in the night and let a song begin. The singing is the fishing, and the fishing pulls you in.
She writes in the Lighthouse diary at the end of every watch, each ship that passed and the direction and the time and notch. The ones that answered her signal and the ones that didn't wave, she writes them all the same because they all deserve the save. She's been the lighthouse keeper since her husband